Welcome to Basic Drums Lesson 1. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how you go about setting up your drum seat. The reason why this is so important is because we need balance as drummers in order to play with both feet and our arms and hands without having any kind of problem getting around the kit. So I'm going to give you some tips that I think are really important that make sure that you have the seat at the right height. The one thing that is most critical is the angle of your leg. When you're sitting down, you should be able to have your foot flat on the pedal and have a slight incline down with your leg. This assures you that whether you're playing heels down or heels up, you will have good balance in your body. Once you have your seat at this correct height, the next thing I like to do is set up my snare drum. In doing that, I use what I call the 4-finger technique. I go to the end of my leg, and I put my hand vertically, and where my palm ends is where the top of my snare drum or my drum pad should be. By doing this, I assure that whether I'm playing match grip or whether I'm playing traditional grip, my drum will be at the right height. I could play regular single strokes, double strokes, rim shots, all without hitting my legs. This is the proper height for the snare drum. And I found it by getting my seat at the right height. So you can see how important getting your seat at the right height is. Now that we have the seat at the right height, we have the snare drum at the right height, we can go ahead and build the rest of the kit. The other thing that makes this really important is having your seat at the right height can help you figure out what the best size drum kit for you is. While this may not be important for adults, it's really important for children and young adults who are starting to learn the instrument. The way that I think that you should go about finding the right size kit for you is getting that seat set up first. Bring your arms even, straight out, and measure from the tips of your fingers to the floor. That measurement will give you some idea of what size bass drum and tom-toms you can have. Now in this kit I have a 20-inch bass drum and an 8x12 tom. So the depth on the tom is 8 inches. 8 plus 20 is 28. Add a couple of inches so that we don't have the tom-tom directly on the bass drum, and you have about 30 inches. Now if I put my hand out and I measure from my fingertips to the floor, I'm probably going to have about 36 to 40 inches. So having a 20-inch bass and smaller toms is not a problem. I can take and I can raise those tom-toms up, or I can leave them low like this, whatever's comfortable for me. But for a young adult or a child, where you're not going to be able to raise them and you're not going to be able to get it any lower, it becomes a real problem. So what we want to do is we want to measure up the young student, and we want to make sure that we get a set that's right for them, whether it be a junior kit with a 16-inch bass drum or an 18-inch bass drum or even a 20 with regular sized toms like this. The main thing is don't go out and buy a 22-inch bass drum with power toms that are really deep, that are going to make the child have to sit up higher in order to reach the tom-toms. Because that's what's going to happen. They'll have to go like this, and in order to stop themselves from doing that, they'll raise the seat up, and then this incline won't be there anymore, and the balance that we've talked about won't be there. So the most important things: get a good seat, get one that's adjustable, set it up so that you have this proper incline in your leg, and then from there, use the 4-finger technique to go ahead and set up the height of your drum pad or your snare drum. You can also use the measurement technique to measure, if you don't have a set already, what would be a good size kit for you. And basically all of this gets us at the proper height, and everything is right where it needs to be for us to prepare learning how to play the drums. So that's it for lesson 1. Come back for lesson 2, where we start learning how to hold the sticks.